other day with the new ball in these nets are kind of exactly like how the wicket was out there, and they were seaming quite a bit. There's a bit of swing as well. But, you know, I said leading into this and our team meeting, if there's a bit of breeze about, the ball doesn't really swing as much. And, you know, besides that first one to Joe that swung back, the ball didn't really swing at all. Fraction bit of seam. But I felt, you know, talking to Marnus out there, they probably bowled fraction too short. Didn't make us actually try and play straight down the ground. I know myself, I know Marnus, we hardly hit the ball straight down the ground. And I think with a pink ball, you know, when it gets to the period where there's nothing happening, I think you've got to try and, you know, dry up the field a little bit and try and get us playing straight. And I think we were able to score freely. You know, we emphasised last match that we're going to run as hard as we could, try and put pressure on, rotate, strike left hand, right hand, and we were able to do that and not let the bowlers settle.
I think that's the sixth time you've scored back-to-back centuries. I mean, is it just a matter of when you're in form, or what's all that down to?
No, I just think at the end of the day, I just go out there and do what I have to do, and that's try and score runs at the top of the order. I will say I did somehow, I don't know how I did this, but I got a little one stayed with me last night, little Lindy. That's 2 nights in a row before I've got hundreds, and yes, last night was a bit of superstition, so I let her stay with me, and I let the girls stay in the other room. Might be my little lucky charm.
Does she Does she let you have a full night's sleep?
It was actually interesting. I was telling the guys, and the other night she didn't wake up till 7:30, and this morning she woke up at 6 and asked me if she could actually get up. I said, you're more than welcome to go out into the lounge room, but I'm not getting up. And at 7 o'clock I walked out and she was actually asleep on the lounge. So, you know, she didn't bother me. But look, I'm used to that, and I thoroughly love it. And I'm fortunate enough to have my family on tour, and it's never a hassle at all.
That was your first pink ball Test 100. Did you see that as a big challenge to overcome? Like, is there, you know, anything you put that down to?
No, not at all. I scored Shield, pink ball hundreds. You know, for me, majority of the time, you know, I've got some pretty good balls. I felt like tonight I actually really tightened up in my defence. It's probably the best I've ever left, I think. And, you know, I think that's down to the quality bowling of Abbas, I think, leading into this test, knowing what he's capable of. You know, I had to be patient as well. I couldn't play those rush shots, and he really tried his best to hang it out there and dangle the carrot, and I just waited for him to over-pitch. And that's one thing on my game I've really tried to work hard on, is try and be a bit more patient and really wait for it. And I think the last 2 games I've actually showed myself I can do that, and I'm capable of doing that. So, yeah, I'm just really proud with how good my defence actually was tonight.
Dave, in linking into that, were you happy with how much you were able to, I guess, drag them wider in terms of where your guard was, and the fact that they've, I think, looking at one point, Abbas, while he bowled accurately, not a lot of those balls were actually going to hit the stumps?
Yeah, and that makes it a lot easier to, you know, make that decision, whether to get across and, you know, leave the ball and then wait for that length, and you can still climb into it. I think if you looked out there, I didn't really try and overhit the cover drives. I just tried to punch it into the gaps and use my timing. So, you know, in the back end there, I did throw the bat a little bit. But in saying that, I've really tightened up, and I just know if I can play underneath my eyes, you know, it holds me in good stead while I'm out there.
I'm guessing that when you came back into the side, you probably hadn't had a lot to do with Marnus at all. Is that the case? And if so, how much have you seen him, I guess, just growing to being used to Test cricket just in the 4 or 5 months you've had alongside him?
Yeah, Marnus obviously fielded for us 1 or 2 times in the Test matches, and then I played against him in the Shield game, and I just remember how annoying he was. Just never shut up on the field, a bit like me when I was a youngster. But look, mate, his work ethic is outstanding. You know, you got that little bromance between him and Smudge, and it's really rubbing off on him in the way that he prepares. You know, I've had people say that they couldn't believe actually how good he was. You know, and you know, everyone talked about how he's getting starts, but I always said to him, and the other guy said to him, you know, the hardest one's your first one, and then, you know, it goes on from there. And to see him come out today and start the way he did, like last game, a lot of energy, loud calls, good intent, rotated the strike. You know, I can't praise him anymore. He's outstanding little talent.
David, like, with so much fuss about, like, you know, batsmen's overseas records and all that, at times do you feel like home records unfairly don't get their due? I mean, you average over 60, but they also come against the best test attacks in the world.
Yeah, I don't really take any notice, to be honest. A lot of great players in the world haven't really scored many hundreds or that are away from their countries. And at the end of the day, my job's to try and score as many runs as I can when I'm at home and away. You don't really go into those away series thinking that you haven't scored hundreds here or you haven't scored big runs anywhere. At the end of the day, you've got to try and do your best for the team. And for me, it's about getting the team off to a good start and trying to wear down the bowlers.
Do you feel like you broke Pakistan today? Like they just sort of look pretty demoralised by the end?
Oh, look, you never want to say that you broke them. The key is to batting is to keep trying to bring their fast bowlers back, and if you can bring them back into their third and fourth spells towards the end of the day, it holds you in good position for tomorrow. And we're able to do that. The youngster making his debut, Musa, bowled lightning quick in that 2020 game. You always know as when young kids come into the setup and they're playing their first test, if you can get them into their second spell and then third spell, the pace is going to drop. They're going to start bowling a bit shorter. They're going to lose sort of a bit of rhythm, especially when there's right hand, left hand. And that's the goal as a batsman to do that. But look, today's today. We've got to move on and look forward to tomorrow and try and replicate that. And if we can try and bat into sort of that, dusk time, will be fantastic. To try and come out here with a new ball under lights because it's quite challenging.